Hey guys, welcome back to tutorial number 24, and in this tutorial we are going to do something cool, which is to connect to the traffic cameras in Singapore to your app and display it with Kivy Carousel. So we're going to use a Kivy MD backdrop, in which in the front layer we want to display the Kivy carousel with traffic images. So later you will be able to scroll through all the images on the front layer. And then the back layer, we're going to have a map view. The map view is going to have all the CCTV symbol or traffic cameras on the exact location on the road. And when you click on it, it's going to show you the image of the road on that particular location. And so, yeah, without further ado, let's look at how we can do that. Okay, so let's go back to our code. And this is where we were in the last video for the KivyMD data table. So if you haven't looked at that video, I suggest you to go through the Kivy MD data table before you come to this video. So for now, if you click on traffic images, it's going to crash because we haven't created traffic images screen. So yeah. So let's close this, and then as usual, we want to first create our class for a new screen. So that will be the first step. Okay, and then the second step, main.kv include this. So we will create traffic image screen.kv later, and here we are going to copy this, paste it. Okay, then we can go to Kivy folder and create our traffic images screen.kv. And here we are going to copy all this and paste here. Okay, so as usual, we have two grid layout under the full layout. The first one is going to be the grid layout for our backdrop. So our backdrop is going to have a front layer and a back layer, and the front layer will be our Kivy carousel, and the back layer will be our map view. So the second grid layout here is going to be a row of label buttons, just the same as others, like roadwork incidents. They all share the same label buttons. So the first one is going to be a back button. Second one is going to be a incidents button. Third one is roadwork, traffic images, road opening. Okay, so we're not explaining again about this label button. I think they are pretty simple. Yeah, the main function of that is just to help you to change from one screen to the other. So now let's focus on this grid layout, what we want to put here, which is the traffic image backdrop. That will be our next step. Step number 5. If screen name is equal to traffic image screen, let's go to the bottom. So first we want to change the title of the page to traffic images. Then we are referring to the traffic image backdrop layout.id.backdrop open. We want the backdrop to be opened when the screen is traffic image screen. So we haven't created a backdrop. Later on you will see what is the function of this code. And then we also want to refer to the back layer of the backdrop. Okay, self.trafficimage backdrop layout.id.container. So we want to declare this at the top later, and then the back layer IDs will be container. Okay, so now we want to create a backdrop. Let's first create a folder called traffic image folder. Okay, so inside this traffic image folder, we will have our backdrop, we will have our GPS helper, and then we will have our map view. Okay, so then we want to create a backdrop.py, and then let's have this code. Paste it here. Okay. So up to this stage, I hope you understand what we are doing. I'm doing it pretty quick because I think we have covered backdrop so many times. So basically, when you instantiate this class and you run it, it's going to build this string, and you will return a backdrop to the main.py. So this string actually creates a backdrop for you, traffic image backdrop, and then you will have an MD backdrop. So you will have a back layer and a front layer, and then in the back layer I define my ID is container, my front layer ID is front layer. So here you can have your class, depending on what class you want to have. You can put a name as you want to, but please remember, don't change the name of the MD, backdrop, back layer and front layer. Okay, these two are going to be fixed to be used with the MD backdrop. So the ID of this backdrop will be backdrop. Okay, and then the header text will be traffic image. So when you click on the transfer down button on the left, this one, it's going to call this open. So the backdrop front layer is going to open when you click on this. Okay, traffic image header text. Excuse me. So the next thing you want to do is during on start we want to instantiate this backdrop. Okay. Let's put it here. Okay. Under the onStart function. Okay. So what we are doing here is actually we instantiate the backdrop layout and then call the function run, and then we add the backdrop to the traffic image screen ID traffic image backdrop, which is our grid layout. Excuse me. Okay, save it. So now you have the backdrop grid layout here, and then this code is going to refer to the backdrop on the top, and then call the backdrop to open the window. Okay, remember the ID of our backdrop is backdrop, and then you can also refer to the back layer of the backdrop, which the ID is container. Okay. Okay. So of course we need to import the backdrop traffic image backdrop class to the main.py to be able to use it. Okay. And then so next thing we want to do is to create a traffic image map view at the back layer of the backdrop. So in the traffic image backdrop layout.py, we want to include this here. You need to include the map view here to be able to use the map view at the back layer. Okay. If you don't do it, it will give you an error. Okay. So in the change screen function, if the screen is traffic image screen, we want to check if there is any map view. First we check, as usual, if this back layer has got any traffic image map view object. If yes, then we will remove it. Then we will create a new one. Okay, we instantiate the traffic image map view class, and then we add it to the back layer. And then we ask the map view to center on our current latitude and longitude. Okay. Of course, you need to declare the map view as object property on the top. Which is here. Okay. And then in the traffic image folder, we can create our traffic image mapview.py. So everything is pretty similar to what we have done previously. Okay, so in this map view, save it. Before I explain this, let's also create a traffic image mapview.kivy, and then let's have this code. Save it. So as a map view is being created, the zone, minimum zone is going to be 14th. If you have zoom less than 14, it's going to default to 14. And as the map view is being created on or as the user navigate the map view on let and on launch, it's going to call this function, so start getting traffic image in field of view, which is going to be this one. So this function, it will initiate a clock to check if the user stays at that screen for 1 second or more. If yes, it will call this function, get traffic image in field of view. So this is where we will send a request, get request to the traffic image URL. So our path is going to be this one, according to the documentation, and then plus the base URL, which is going to be the URL that we want to send a request to. And then we just load the result. So now we want to refer to the front layer. Okay, and token running app traffic image backdrop layout.id.front layer. So this front layer we are going to add a carousel. Okay, carousel is something like a screen that you can swipe from one side to the other, so that if you have 10 images, you will be able to swipe the image to see them one by one. Okay, so carousel, you go to carousel direction right. Of course, you need to import from kivy.uix.carousel import carousel. Okay, and then inside the carousel, we're going to have our async image, so you need to import it as well from kivy.uix.image import async image. Okay, so yeah, where was I? Okay, so once you do the request, right, you can use the postman and then you can put in the URL to see the result. But if you refer to the documentation traffic image, this will be the result that you will get from this URL. So you will get the camera ID, you will get the latitude and longitude, and you will get the image link as well. So this link, as you see a URL, then you will be able to use the Kivy async image to display it. Okay, so what we want to do is to get the URL and then display it on the async image, and then we'll put the async image into the carousel. So for traffic image in traffic image response key value, first we keep track of the camera ID. The reason of doing this is that we don't want to display the same ID again and again over the map. So we will check if that ID is in self.cameraID, which is this one. We will use this list to append the camera ID every time we create a marker at the below. So we will check if the camera ID is already in our list. If yes, then continue the loop, don't do anything else. We are going to add the traffic image to the map view. So our source is going to be traffic image key image link, which is this one, and then we're going to use the async image, and then we declare the source is going to be src. Okay, then we use the carousel to add the image into the carousel. Okay, okay, so let's see. Okay, so we need to actually put this one on the top here. Yeah, because we need to first check if there is any carousel, and then we remove it, and then we create a new one. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense for me, because you need to first remove it, and then you add the carousel to the front layer. Yeah, that should be the right way. I will update the code. Okay, yeah, I will update the this one. Okay, and when you call the add traffic image, first you will get the latitude and longitude, and then you will use the traffic image marker class, pass the latitude and longitude, and then also pass the traffic image data, and then add the marker to the map view as usual. Then we will keep track of the camera ID. Okay. Then in the traffic image folder, you also need to create a traffic image marker.py so that you can have the marker on the map view, and then copy this. Okay. So what is going to happen here is that we are going to have a pop-up menu. The title is going to be camera ID, and then the content is going to be the async image. So we want to put the async image into the map view, okay, in the front layer. And then of course we need to import the map view. We need to import the map view to our main.py so that you can use it at the main.py. Save it. And I think at this point of time, if you run it, it's already working. We still have the last step to add the GPS helper to our script, to our map view. By the moment, I think let's run it first to see if anything went wrong. Okay, go to traffic image. Boom, there you go. So we have back layer and front layer. Let's look at front layer first. So this is going to be the front layer. Okay. Now you see we have the images all over the Singapore. We can look at the road condition. Okay, cool. That is cool. Okay. Oops. So we can have the traffic image in the front layer, and then also at the back layer you can also see the symbol. If you click on this, for example, boom, it's going to show you the traffic image on that particular location. What about permanent? Okay. And then about here. Yeah. So the last thing you want to do is to have the GPS blinker to call this blinker to blink. Okay. And what we can do is create a GPS blinker under the traffic image folder. And copy this, paste it here. I believe I don't have to explain the GPS blinker again. It's going to be it's going to ask for permission on your device when we build an APK and load it on your phone. And then once we get the location from the GPS of your device, it's going to call this update blinker position, so that your blinker will be updated based on your current location. It will show the location of your current, it will show your current location, and then it's going to center your map view also onto that location. Okay, and then it's going to update the current latitude and longitude on the main.py, and it's also going to give you an arrow or pop-up message to ask you to enable your GPS. Okay. Lastly, go to the main.py all the way to the bottom. Make sure you ask the GPS helper to run. Okay, save it, run it, then we are all done. Now traffic image. There you go. Okay, we have our GPS blinker. Okay, cool. We have our front layer with a traffic image. Okay, and I hope you liked the video. And in this tutorial, I show you how you can create Kivy Carousel and also link to the cameras on the road. And in the next one, we are going to look at another Kivy widget which is called expansion panel, and we will use the Kivy MD expansion panel to display the information about road opening in Singapore. Okay. Yeah, as you click on this expansion panel, it's going to drop down another panel on the bottom to show you additional information. Okay, I think it's a cool widget as well. If you'd like to see that, continue to stay tuned to my channel, subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I hope to see you in the next one.